What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to get straight to it. We're going to be talking about supply and demand basics. This is for the Focus Flow Discord, hosted by yours truly, Kuman. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so you may be asking, what is supply? What is demand? I remember when I first started trading, I did not know what this was. I used to think supply was demand. I used to think demand was supply. But in this video, I'm going to clarify for you guys so that you understand it perfectly fine, what's what and how to trade it. Alright, so first thing first, we have is supply. Supply is the sellers in the market, okay? This is the resistance zones. The resistance zones are going to be your ceiling. You can look at it as a roof or a ceiling. So this is the area where price goes up and sells heavy. So supply zones are zones that price come at and they sell heavy. Came up, sold heavy. Came up, sold heavy. Now you're like, okay, what is demand zone? Demand zones is the complete opposite. Demand zones are going to be your buying areas. So the areas at the bottom of the market, which you can call your floor or you can call the ground. Okay, so demand zones are where areas where the market brings price up bullish. All right, so heavy buying, come down, heavy buying, come down, heavy buying, come down. Okay, so if it comes back down right here to this demand zone, what is it going to do? You got it. It's gonna buy heavy again. Okay, so supply zones is your areas where market they want to get rid of price. They have too much supply, so they have to get rid of it. Demand zones is at the bottom where they have too much supply, so they have too less supply, so they demand more. Okay, price moves between supply and demand zones, and this is how you'll be able to make money with confluence to a strategy. What confluence means, you might be asking, like, what does confluence mean with a strategy? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, confluence, think about it like a basketball game, right? You dribble, right? That's 1 point into playing basketball. You shoot, that's 1 point of playing basketball. You lay up, that's another point of playing basketball, and you can pass. Okay, so with all those points added up, you're playing basketball, right? And you have a better chance of scoring compared to somebody who's just throwing the ball and trying to score like that. You feel me? The more points you have within the trade and in your strategy, the better your trade is going to come out to be and the more successful you're going to be. So supply and demand is not just a one way to trade, okay? We're going to get more deep into what actually it is, but you don't want to just trade off of supply and demand. You want to have a strategy with it. There's people that just trade off of this by itself and they are successful, right? But what I teach is I teach for you to have more confluences because I want you to have more confidence to just have more better setups in your trades. Okay, so let's get into the next slide. Like I said before, supply and demand is really simple, right? It's just selling zones and buying zones. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty quick presentation. This video is not going to be super long, right? I am going to get on the charts and show you guys live presentations of how to actually trade supply and demands. I might show you guys a little bit of my strategy as well, so stay tuned for that. Like the video and comment down below. Let's get this bread. But supply zones, like I said before, is areas where the market comes up and you have heavy sell-offs, right? So we see a heavy sell-off right here, right? Areas where sellers are likely to enter. So there's a lot of sellers in this area right here. So guess what a lot of people are going to do? They're going to sell it there, okay? Price often reverses downward from here, acts as resistance. Like I said, resistance is a ceiling. Heavy / big bearish candles, just like this one right here. Boom, see this heavy candle? See this heavy candle? And yeah, boom. Okay, so now on the flip side, we have demand zones. So demand zones is where basically price comes at the bottom and it shoots up, right? So you got the floor. This is the floor right here. This is the floor right here. So pretend this floor right here. Every time you're bouncing on a trampoline, what's going to happen? You're going to bounce down, you're going to come back up. You bounce down, you're going to come back up, right? So anytime price comes and sells off into this zone here, you're going to see a lot of heavy buying pressure. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Areas where buyers are likely to enter, okay? Price often reverses upward from here. So let's say there is a, let me draw this out for you guys. This, not a perfect square, but you know, this rectangle right here. This is my floor, okay? That's the floor. Put some green grass in there, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of green grass. boom, 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 boom. And now this blue candle right here, pretend this blue candle is a tree, right? So the tree comes out of the floor, you feel me? And it grows nice and tall, and in the spring times it changes colors and it bears fruit and all that good stuff, right? So that's the floor, feel me? And what's gonna happen from the floor? The floor is gonna grow more trees, more big candles, you feel me? So every time price comes down, it's gonna grow another tree. Price comes down, it grows a tree. Price comes down, it grows a tree. I want to try to give you guys examples so you guys understand this, and there's no way that you can't get this. You feel me? So demand zones is the floor, heavy, big, bullish candles. Okay, so part one of identifying zones, we're going to talk about the downtrend, the consolidation, and the breakout. Okay, so first thing first, we have right here is look for strong moves away from a price level. Right? These levels often become important in the future. Okay, so you have a downtrend right here. Boom, sell off, hits the support right here, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. Anytime you see markets trading sideways like this and it's not really going in any direction, we call that consolidation. Okay, so whenever a market is not going up or down but it's moving inside of a box and it's not going anywhere, we call that consolidation. Price is basically hesitating. You know what I'm saying? It's pump faking. All right. So once it's finished pump faking, it decides to, okay, let's keep going down. Right. This same area of floor that has been tapping support before, it tapped right here, it almost tapped here, it almost tapped here, it almost tapped here, and it tapped right here, went up. Okay. On the flip side, we're gonna go like this now. Okay. So look. Go like this now. Let's say it broke out right here. It's gonna go up and tap this same zone again, right? And from this zone right here, what's gonna happen is it's gonna reverse and go down. Now you may be asking me, why won't it just keep going up? It can keep going up, right? But the fact that this consolidation zone right here at the bottom is a point of interest, it's most likely once it goes below it, a decent amount, it has a supply out of this zone, right? It's gonna retest and keep supplying out of this zone again. The same way, if I clear it, you see it right here. It broke out, eventually came back up over here. It almost lines up, and it continues to sell off. So this is how you trade continuation breakouts, right? Quick again, sell off, consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. Keeps tapping support, breaks support, reverses back up to that support as resistance, and now supply, and it keeps selling off as well. So that's supply and demand in a trade form right there. You can take that as a trade. Another example right here, identify clear zones on a higher time frame. Like I said before in the last video, if you haven't watched that, go ahead and check that video out. I talk about candlesticks and time frames. So each candlestick represents a time frame. So if I'm on the 15-minute time frame, each stick that you see pop up, whether red or green, next to each other going right side, so going from left, right, 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 each one of these candles you see represent 15 minutes, okay? So on the higher time frame, a higher time frame would be like an hour or 4 hour, which every one of these candles represents 1 hour. So this is 1 hour of selling movement. This is 1 hour of green movement. If I was on the 4 hour, it would be considered that time frame. Okay, wait for price to return to the zone. So supply, boom, you got a pullback. You want to wait for it to return to that zone, right? Look for confirmation signals, candlestick patterns, volumes, things of that nature. For this example right here, you will see there is a lot of wicks here, so that will be a confirmation as well. Another confirmation as well would be that, okay, I see price came here, went bearish, right? If I want to wait for another retest, you can see another retest right here. This could be a possible entry for you to take this in sells and make profit. Cha-ching. Right? So enter near zones with stop loss outside. So your stop loss is going to be, if you're in a trade for a sell right here, your stop loss is going to be above this zone. Okay? So your stop loss is going to be right here. You want to get out of the trade here. Right? My targets would be the demand zone. right? So the bottom of the demand zone, somewhere in this area below here. These are my take profits, right? This is my stop loss, right? And the yellow is where I enter the trade at. Okay, so I wanted to go down to profit without going up to my stop loss. And you see how big my take profit is compared to my stop loss. That's how you want to have it. This is what you call like a 1 to 2 right here, right? So think about it like this. I'm making $200 and I'm risking $100. So if I win one trade, it's going to take me 2 more trades for me to lose if I continue to stay consistent with a 1 to 2. If I continue to go for $200 while only losing $100, you're gonna see profit over time because it's gonna take you to lose twice just to make what you won once. Yeah. So last slide right here on the presentation, we got supply. Like I said before, supply equals sellers, demand equals buyers. It's going to help you see the zones of where price is going up and down, the footprints and all of that. Trading zones improves risk to reward. Like the last slide I showed you guys how supply above your supply is going to be your stop loss, and all the way down at the demand is going to be your take profit. And you're going to be able to go from a 1 to a 2, $100 loss to a $200 win while using supply and demand. Now the next slide, there is no next slide, I'm going to go over to TradingView and show you guys a live presentation, a live example, so you guys can go ahead and practice this on your own time and see how supply and demand could work for you and how it works for a whole bunch of other people in trading, and create a strategy to help you become profitable in the market. So if you haven't liked the video yet, go ahead and drop a like on the video. Appreciate you guys for watching. Let's get to TradingView. We're going to go ahead and show you guys supply and demand live on the chart, live in action on the chart, so y'all can see how to do it. So let's get straight to it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the higher time frame. So up here we have our time frames. Click on that. Okay, now what I'm looking for in supply and demand zones is sometimes what I could do as well is I could go to the line chart, and from the line chart I can see my zones a lot more clear, so I can see where price hits an area and taps off repeatedly. So I can see the area right here. We got price hitting this zone. Then we got price hitting this zone. That's twice. And it made a huge sell-off from here to here and here to here. Okay. So that is a supply zone. Now let's look for a demand zone. A demand zone would be somewhere around here, because you see price tapped once, twice, heavy buying, hit the supply, come back down to the demand, heavy buying, hit the supply, come back down to the demand, right? It actually broke demand right here, but what happened was it started consolidating within this area. So now it's playing around inside of this area, okay? And it's another sign that it might actually go to the upside, but it depends on the higher time frame trend. The higher time frame trend is actually bullish, so just keep that in mind. So let's go back to the 1 hour now, and let's change this back to candlestick form. So we know that my white lines is my supply and demand zones. Okay, so now that we're on the 1 hour, we're gonna find the same thing except on the smaller time frame. So I can see right here that there's an area where price sells off heavily, because if I look over here to my left, I can see price hit this area and sold off, hit this area again, sold off a little bit. The supply and demand zones are getting smaller and smaller, but it's still countering, it's still gonna work, because it's still hitting certain zones, it's tapping zones together, which is making confluence of it to sell. So if you come over here, you can see another zone hit for it to sell. Okay, come over here, now it's on my 4 hour demand zone. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna let price play out, and we're gonna see what it does. Remember what we said before, price can consolidate inside of a zone. Okay, so I'm gonna draw this box of this zone right here, and this could be a big 1 hour order block, right? An order block is a block, a rectangle, a square, whatever you want to call it. a square of where price is inside of that box, and once it breaks out of that box into another direction, that's a sign, an indication that it might continue to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to continue to let market play out. Okay, it broke out of my box. What I want to see is I want to see a demand out of this box. Actually, it respected the bottom of it, so it's still pushing up. There we go. If I could get one more big candle down to the downside, that would be nice. Okay, so we got a break of structure, okay? This is structure right here being broken. This is the low, okay? This right here is the low. Price was here. It created a demand. It created a supply right here. Supply zone is going to be red, so I'm going to make this box red. Right, it created a supply zone right here, and then from this zone it sold off, right, and it broke structure of the previous low. So right here, this was the lowest low. That is the lowest low right here, right? Once it broke this area, now it's now in bearish territory. So what we want to see now is because look as well, you can see that this area was an area where it bought off heavily as well. So if I make this green, this will be my demand zone. So you can also see as well that right here in this area, heavy buyers came in, heavy sellers came in. So what's going to happen now? This same area is going to turn into a red zone because now price has broke underneath this zone and it wants to come back and retest the zone. You can see it also came and retest a little bit on this candle itself. But let's see if we can get another retracement to the upside so that we can get in for sales. From here, to be honest, I would take my Fibonacci tool and start to use it. But I want to see a pullback. So continue to drop, pullback. Take my Fibonacci. I'm going to put my Fibonacci right here at this gap, because there's a gap right here where price didn't fill. I'm going to put it from right here because that's about the top of the move. And I'm going to put it all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to line that up nice and smooth with the 0.5 zone. So 0.5 zone, I'm going to move this down a little bit right here. Make this purple. This purple zone now is my entry zone. So I'm going to take my trade, get in for sales here. My stop loss, like I said in the presentation, is going to be above the supply zone. Okay, so now this is a supply zone. My stop loss is above it, and my entry is right here. Right, take profit is going to be the low point of the market. So this is a cool 1-to-1. If I go for the 27, that would be a 1-to-2, and this would be a 1-to-3. Okay, we're going to leave it at 1-to-3 and see what happens. So boom, right here, market barely hit my entry. So if I got in right there, that would be inside the trade, and I was going to sell off, I bet you. Boom, look at it. TP3, can we get it? Yes sir. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Off of supply and demand, simple as that. So that is just one example right there for you guys. You guys want more videos, more examples on how to work a strategy, how to work supply and demand, how to get anything done. I'm going to be showing you guys videos. Just make sure you guys support the video, like the video, share the video, and take notes on the video. You know what I'm saying? Because I really want you to learn what I'm giving the best as you can. And it takes time, it takes psychology. It's going to be more psychology videos, because once you get the strategy down pat, it's going to be all coming up to your mindset and your discipline. Okay, so without further ado, I appreciate y'all for watching this video. Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe, and show some love in the Discord. Peace out, y'all. Love y'all. Let's get it.